My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the North, general of the Felix Legions, loyal servant to the true emperor. It doesn't get any better than that, does it? I mean, Gladiator's gotta be up there in my top 5 films of all time. Everything about it is so iconic. The story, the performances, the photography, the music, and the whole message behind it. Everything is so brilliant. And it's great for learning English too. So in today's lesson, we're gonna watch 2 scenes. The first one when Maximus starts to become famous as a gladiator and is invited to go to Rome to fight in the arena to a larger crowd. And the second one when he's already in Rome after a fight and the emperor decides that he wants to meet with Maximus in person. And I gotta say that's one of the best movie scenes in history. So now let's watch the first scene and then we'll learn with it. And by the way, at the end of this video, I'm gonna give you the chance to test your comprehension by watching both scenes without subtitles, and I bet that you'll be able to understand them 100%. That's my goal with you today. So, let's get started.
What do you want? Girl? Boy?
You sent for me?
Yes, I did. You're good, Spaniard, but you're not that good. You could be magnificent.
I'm required to kill, so I kill. That is enough.
That's enough for the provinces, but not for Rome. The young emperor has arranged a series of spectacles to commemorate his father, Marcus Aurelius. I find that amusing, since it was Marcus Aurelius, the wise, the all-knowing Marcus Aurelius, that closed us down. So finally, after 5 years of scratching a living in flea-infested villages, we're finally going back to where we belong. The Colosseum. Oh, you should see the Colosseum, Spaniard.
Okay, so these expressions that you just saw highlighted in blue, we're going to explore all this vocabulary now. Now, if your goal is to remember all of these expressions forever and never forget them and actually be able to use them when you speak, then I'm going to tell you that the best way that you can do that is by practicing with this lesson on Gladiator on our own app. It really helps you become more fluent because on there, you don't just watch it passively, you engage and interact and practice with the vocabulary. So just click the link in the description below to open the app and we'll continue from there. So in the scene, we see Proximo, a former gladiator who now owns and trains fighters, speaking with Maximus. Let's have another look at the first couple lines.
What do you want? Girl? Boy?
You sent for me?
Yes, I did.
The phrase, "you sent for me," means, "did you call me here?" It's used in formal settings when a person is summoned, like an employee being called to a manager's office or a servant responding to a king. To summon means exactly that, when someone calls for a presence somewhere. In the movie, Maximus is called a Spaniard because he was born in Hispania, located in modern-day Spain and Portugal, which at the time was a Roman province, a region from the empire. Today, Spaniard still refers to a person from the country of Spain. Some nationalities have these second names, almost like nicknames. Like, it could refer to a British person as a Brit, a Danish person as a Dane, Turkish, Turk, Arabic, Arab, and a Polish person, that is, from Poland, could be called a Pole.
You're good, Spaniard, but you're not that good. You could be magnificent.
I'm required to kill, so I kill.
When someone calls something magnificent, they're not just saying it's good or great. They mean it's deeply impressive or worthy of admiration and respect, like a stunning view or piece of art. So he means that Maximus has the potential to be a legendary fighter. Check out this other example.
This is my boyfriend, David. David, this is Freddie.
Magnificent shot. Thank you.
The young emperor has arranged a series of spectacles to commemorate his father, Marcus Aurelius.
At this point in the movie, the emperor is Commodus, the son of Marcus Aurelius, the previous emperor. So Commodus has organized grand spectacles, that is, big, exciting public shows to honor and celebrate his father. A word you may hear more often than spectacle is the adjective spectacular. which is often used casually to describe something impressive, breathtaking, or extraordinary. See it in this example.
The cake looks spectacular, Gabriel.
I find that amusing, since it was Marcus Aurelius, the wise, the all-knowing Marcus Aurelius, that closed us down.
When something is amusing, it's entertaining and funny. Not laugh out loud funny necessarily, but more like something that is funny in an interesting way. Proximo thinks it's amusing that the young emperor is bringing back gladiator fights to celebrate his father's memory when it was Marcus Aurelius himself who stopped the games in the first place. And when he did that, he consequently closed down the business of trading gladiators.
Just one more obstacle to get round, then it'll all be straight.
Actually, yes.
Personally, I find it quite amusing. Men like you are becoming very fashionable down here.
I find that amusing, since it was Marcus Aurelius, the wise, the all-knowing Marcus Aurelius, that closed us down.
In case you don't know, Marcus Aurelius is an actual historical figure who is in fact remembered as a wise ruler. But Proximo is calling him wise and all-knowing sarcastically here to make fun of him. Probably because he failed to foresee two major things: his own son's betrayal and the return of gladiator games. The expression all-knowing refers to a person who knows it all, who knows everything.
So finally, after 5 years of scratching a living in flea-infested villages, we're finally going back to where we belong. The Colosseum.
Proximo creates a dramatic contrast between the glory of the Colosseum and the struggle of life in small villages. He describes these villages as flea-infested, emphasizing their poor living conditions. When a place is infested with something like fleas or rats, it means they are present in large, uncontrollable numbers. He also emphasizes how harsh their situation has been with the phrase scratching a living, meaning barely having enough money to survive and struggling just to get by.
We're finally going back to where we belong. The Colosseum.
Going back to where you belong means to go back to a place that feels right for you, where you truly fit in, or where you're meant to be. You can often hear this phrase in movies and songs.
All that matters now is that you're safe and home, where you belong.
The verb belong may also appear in similar phrases, like we belong together, meaning that two people are meant to be together. You could also hear the opposite. A person may say, you don't belong here, meaning this place or situation is not meant for you.
Peter, please don't. You don't belong here. Either of you, so I'm sending you home.
In the scene, Proximo means that his best gladiators are meant to fight in a Colosseum, where they belong, the grandest stage, rather than struggling in small villages. And by the way, remember that you can practice what you're learning today on our own app. It really is the best way to make sure that you never forget the vocabulary that you see in these lessons. And I would even say that's better to watch it from there, because you get to interact with the words on screen. To get started, just click the link below and you'll be taken directly to this lesson over there, or just search for Real Life English on your favorite app store, and I'll see you there. So after this conversation, Proximo and Maximus finally set off for Rome, where Maximus quickly rises to fame by winning several battles in the Colosseum. What he didn't expect, however, was that Emperor Commodus would personally step into the arena after one of the games to meet him face to face. If you've seen the movie, you remember that Commodus actually murdered his own father to seize the throne. And if you haven't yet, don't worry about it, this is not a major spoiler, it happens right at the beginning. Now we're gonna watch the second scene where all of this unfolds.
Guys!
Your fame is well-deserved, Spaniard. I don't think there's ever been a gladiator to match you. As for this young man, he insists you are Hector reborn. Was it Hercules? Why doesn't the hero reveal himself and tell us all your real name? You do have a name.
My name is Gladiator.
How dare you show your back to me? Slave! You will remove your helmet and tell me your name.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius. Commander of the armies of the North, General of the Felix Legions, loyal servant to the true Emperor Marcus Aurelius, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance in this life or the next.
So at this part of the movie, Commodus believes Maximus is dead. After taking the throne from his father, he also gave his men orders to kill Maximus, the general of the Roman army. So here, Commodus doesn't recognize him initially. Let's break down each line.
Your fame is well-deserved, Spaniard. I don't think there's ever been a gladiator to match you.
Commodus says that his reputation is well-deserved or rightly earned. He has proved himself in the games. Match means to compare or equal something in skill or quality. When someone says there's no match for you, they mean no one compares to you. No one has reached your level.
Is that a challenge?
I wouldn't dream of challenging you.
A wise decision. You are no match for his royalness.
I don't think there's ever been a gladiator to match you.
This is a good sentence to practice advanced pronunciation. Did you hear the connected speech in it? I mean, the way Commodus linked different words together? Let's analyze it. First, we see that there is, a short form of there has, contains a Z sound at the end. There is. And this links to the word ever, forming the sound there's ever. Next, we hear the N sound from been linked to a gladiator. Been a gladiator. And yes, the T from gladiator turns into a D sound, like this, gladiator. So the whole phrase sounds like, I don't think there's ever been a gladiator. Now you try and repeat after Commodus.
I don't think there's ever been a gladiator to match you. I don't think there's ever been a gladiator to match you. As for this young man, he insists you are Hector reborn. Or was it Hercules?
The young boy who admires the strength of Maximus is Lucius, the emperor's nephew. He compares Maximus to the great heroes of the past. Hector, the greatest warrior of Troy, and Hercules, the mythological hero. To insist means to say something firmly, especially when others disagree or oppose what you say. And reborn means to be born again, to come back to life. So the boy keeps saying that Maximus fights like a warrior from ancient legends.
Why doesn't the hero reveal himself and tell us all your real name? You do have a name.
My name is Gladiator.
How dare you show your back to me? Slave!
So Commodus asks for the gladiator's name, emphasizing it by saying, you do have a name. We use the verb do for emphasis when we're either sure or unsure about something and want confirmation.
I did what I had to do. If Father had had his way, the Empire would have been torn apart. You do see that?
Yes.
In this context, it's the same as, of course you have a name, right? Now the phrase, how dare you, expresses shock when someone does something unacceptable or disrespectful. Commodus is furious that Maximus turned his back on him.
Why doesn't the hero reveal himself and tell us all your real name?
This is another nice instance of connected speech. Basically, the L sound from tell links to the following vowel sound in us, tell us. And then the S from us also links to the following vowel sound in all, tell us all.
Why doesn't the hero reveal himself and tell us all your real name? Tell us all your real name.
So finally, Maximus reveals himself, delivering his famous speech. Let's check out this part again.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, Commander of the armies of the North, General of the Felix Legions, loyal servant to the true Emperor Marcus Aurelius, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance in this life or the next.
A servant is someone who works for another person, often for pay. So it's not the same as a slave who has no freedom and doesn't get paid. We also have the verb to serve, meaning to perform services for another person. In modern times, servant can still be used to refer to people who work for a government, also known as a public servant.
Because we're public servants, we're trusted to run the government. My father works alongside our leader, Marcus.
Father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance, in this life or the next.
Maximus is saying that his family and his emperor have been murdered, and that he's seeking revenge. Vengeance is exactly that, the act of punishing someone because they hurt you or people close to you, to quote-unquote settle the score. The word vengeance here adds a sense of higher purpose to his action though, so it's more than simple revenge. Maximus isn't just seeking personal satisfaction, he's fighting for justice after Commodus murdered his family and took the throne. His mission is bigger than just hurting Commodus back. He wants to restore what was taken from him and punish a tyrant. That's why it's vengeance, not just revenge. Alright, now let's test your comprehension by watching both scenes without any subtitles, and also I'm going to ask you some quiz questions. Let's do it.
What do you want? Girl? Boy?
You sent for me.
Yes, I did. You're good, Spaniard, but you're not that good. You could be magnificent.
I'm required to kill, so I kill. That is enough.
That's enough for the provinces, but not for Rome. The young emperor has arranged a series of spectacles to commemorate his father, Marcus Aurelius.
What does the word commemorate mean here? To humiliate, to honor, to forget.
I find that amusing, since it was Marcus Aurelius, the wise, the all-knowing Marcus Aurelius, that closed us down. So finally, after 5 years of scratching a living in flea-infested villages...
What does it mean to be scratching a living? Living a luxurious life, having to work non-stop, struggling in poor conditions.
We're finally going back to where we belong. The Colosseum. Oh, you should see the Colosseum, Spaniard.
Guys! Guys! Your fame is well-deserved, Spaniard. I don't think there's ever been a gladiator to match you. As for this young man, he insists you are Hector reborn. Was it Hercules? Why doesn't the hero reveal himself and tell us all your real name? You do have a name.
My name is Gladiator.
How dare you show your back to me? Slave! You will remove your helmet and tell me your name.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the North, general of the Felix Legions, loyal servant to the true emperor, Marcus Aurelius.
What does Maximus mean when he says he's a loyal servant to Marcus Aurelius? He was a loyal slave to the emperor. He followed the emperor's orders faithfully. He worked in the emperor's palace as a public servant.
Father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my...
What do we call a strong desire for payback and taking justice into your own hands? The answer is vengeance.
And I will have my vengeance, in this life or the next.
Ah yeah, such an epic scene, right? Now remember to go and practice everything that you learned today on the Real Life app. Just click the link in the description below to get started right now.
Terrific, these are all terrific.
Meet Bedlam.
Cool name. Superpowers?
I can distort electrical fields. including the one inside your brain, causing anxiety, confusion, pain.
So basically, you're Dave Matthews. We can use him.
I'm a zeitgeist.
Cool. I like it. So you have the power to put your finger on the pulse of society?
No,